today we are going to learn how to add and subtract our decimal. When adding or subtracting decimals, write the decimal numbers vertically and align the decimal points. Add 0 to the right of the decimal if needed. So, ibig sabihin, if our decimal number is not the same sa ating second given, or if hindi sila pareha na tatlong decimal number, dalawang decimal number, then we are going to add 0 to the right para same number of decimal sila. Then after that, we are going to add or subtract the same way as we add or subtract the whole numbers. Ibig sabihin, kung tayo, pag nag-a-add or nagsasubtract tayo ng whole numbers, we start with the rightmost digit, then same with our decimal numbers. Okay, so now let's start our example in adding and subtracting decimals. So for example number 1, what is the sum of 53.487 and 8.9 tenths? So the first one, ang sabi dito, dapat isulat natin siya vertically and align the decimal point. So ibig sabihin, once we align the decimal point, the digit must be aligned based on the place value. Ibig sabihin, dapat naka-align si same place value, si decimal points, si ones, si tenths, and other place value. Okay po? So, hindi pwedeng magka-align si tenths, tapos ang ka-align niya ay si hundreds. So, therefore, dapat same place value siya. Okay? So, now, let's write it vertically. So, let's start with our first number, which is 53.487 thousandths. So 53.487 thousandths. And sabi, we need to align the second given based on its place value and the decimal point. Since the place value or the decimal point ay eto po sa ating 8.9, then the decimal point must be here. And our ones place value or ones digit, which is 8, dapat naka-align sa ones. Next is yung ating tenths place value or the digit 9, dapat naka-align sa tenths place value. So now, we have aligned the numbers vertically and we have aligned the decimal points. Now, let's proceed with our second step. Our first given and second given must have the same decimal places. So therefore, if kulang ng decimal number or decimal places ang isang digit natin to its right, then we will going to add 0. So therefore, it becomes 53.487. Since the first given has 3 decimal places, or decimal given, 3 decimal given, and the second given has only 1 decimal, then yung ating second given dapat maging tatlo din yung decimal natin. So therefore, we will going to add 0. So it becomes 8.9 and we are going to add the 2 0. Now, they have the same numbers of decimal places. So, meron na tayong 3 digits sa decimal sa first given and 3 digit na decimal sa ating second given. Now, after that, we can add or we can subtract our given. Since we are going to get the sum of our given, then we are going to add our 53.487 thousandths and 8.900 thousandths. So now let's add our given. So we have here the 53.487 thousandths and 8.900 thousandths. So, in adding or subtracting, we start with the rightmost digit going to left. So, ibig sabihin, from right to left ang pag-a-add natin. So, let's start adding the thousandths place value, 7 and 0. So, 7 plus 0 is 7, since we are going to get the sum. Next value natin will be 8 plus 0. It is equal to 8. Next natin to add is our 4 and 9. So 4 plus 9, it is equal to 13. So bring down 3 and carry over 1. And after that, we should copy the decimal point. So yung decimal point natin should be here also. Dapat naka-align din si decimal. And then after that, proceed with our addition. So let's add our 1, the carry over 1, our 8, and our 3. So 1 plus 3 is equal to 4, and plus 8 natin, it is equal to 12. So bring down 2 and carry over 1. And then proceed with addition of the next digit, which is 1 plus 5, it is equal to 6. So our final answer is 62.387 thousandths. So this is how we add our decimal. So it is the same way in subtracting our decimal. So same process lang din tayo. So the difference is we are just subtracting instead of adding our number. So now, if the example number 1 is clear, let's proceed with our next example. For this example, our next example, ay i-apply naman natin yung ating learnings about rounding off. So here in our example number 2, what is the sum of 12.437 and 11.142 thousandths? Round off your answer in 2 decimal places. So, ibig sabihin dito, if makikita natin yung ating problem that you need to round off your answer into nth decimal places, or it depends sa given. Sometimes it is 1 decimal place, 2 decimal places, 3 decimal places, and so on. Okay, it depends on the given. So if we are going to round off our answer, so depende tayo how many decimal places. So for example, it is 0.12345 6. If we are going to round off our answer in 2 decimal places, therefore dapat dalawang decimal lang yung matitira sa atin. Kaya yung pangalawang decimal digit natin, siya yung ira-round off natin. So therefore, we are going to round off our hundredths place value. If siya naman ay in 1 decimal places, then we will round off to the tenths place value. Kapag in 3 decimal places naman, then we need to round off into thousandths place value. Okay, so dapat 3 digit yung matitira if you're going to round off into 3 decimal place value. Okay, so if wala naman tayong nakita na we need to round off our answer, katulad ng ating example number 1, ang kinukuha lang natin is sum, therefore no need to round off our answer. Okay, but since in our example number 2, we are asked to round off our answer in 2 decimal places, then after natin makuha yung sum, we need to round off our answer. So now let's have our example number 2. So for our example number 2, we are getting the sum. So therefore, write first our given vertically and align the decimal point. So we have here our 12.437 plus, since it is the sum, or we are going to get the sum, 11.142. So since they have the same, or we have aligned it vertically with the same place value and the decimal point, now we will check if our decimal number has the same place value, or pareha siya na may 3 digits sa decimal number. Since both of them have 3 digits in decimal places, then we will proceed already with our addition. Let's start with our addition. We have 7 plus 2, it is equal to 9. Next na i-add natin is our 3 and 4. 3 plus 4, it is equal to 7. Next will be our 4 plus 1, it is equal to 5. Then copy the decimal or bring down decimal point and proceed with addition. So for our 2 plus 1, it is equal to 3. And next ay yung ating 1 plus 1, it is equal to 2. So our sum is 23,557 thousandths. Ito po yung sum natin. 23,579 thousandths. So now we are going to round off our answer into 2 decimal places. So kung 2 decimal places, therefore sa pangalawang decimal tayo magra-round off. So, ibig sabihin, yung 7 yung ira-round off natin. If we round off 7 and the digit to its right is 9, then we are going to round up. So, once we round up our digit, it becomes 8. Then, the digit to its right becomes 0. So, pwedeng hindi na natin siya isulat dahil 0 na siya. And then, copy the digit to its left. It becomes 23.58 hundredths. So, our rounded off answer is 23.58 hundredths. So, ganito lang po yung gagawin natin once we encounter that our problem needs to round off our answer in decimal or in given decimal places. So, now, if we have learned how to get the sum and to round off our answer, now let's proceed with next example, which is finding the difference of the given. So, katulad ng pag-a-add natin, same process lang din yung gagawin natin. So, the difference lang is we are going to subtract it. Okay? So, the first one is we are going to align the digit vertically as well our decimal point. So, let's write our given vertically. 37. So, let's change the color, which it would be more visible. 37.586 thousandths and subtracted to 15.342 thousandths. Since we have aligned it vertically, and then they have the same digit in decimal places, then no need to add 0. So, we can exclude this part kasi wala naman tayong dapat i-add na 0. And after this one, we can subtract our given. So, let's have a process of subtraction. We have 6 minus 2, it is equal to 4. 8 minus 4 is equal to 4. 5 minus 3 is equal to 2. Next natin is 7 minus 5, decimal point. Then 7 minus 5 is equal to 2. And 3 minus 1 is equal to 2. So our answer is 22.244. Do we need to round it off or do we need to round off our answer? No need to round it off since our problem does not ask to round off our answer. We are getting only the difference of our given. So therefore, our final answer is 22.244 thousandths. So now let's have this example number 4, which we are going to round off our answer. So here, we have what is the difference of 72.513 and 51.40 hundredths. So, round off your answer into decimal places. So, let's start subtracting our given. So, align first vertically. So, 72.513 minus natin sa decimal point, then 51, same place value, and 40. Then, proceed tayo sa next step. If hindi siya pareha ng ating ng ating given decimal numbers, then we can add 0. Since the first given has 3 decimal digit and the second given has only 2 decimal digit, then we can add 0 sa second given natin. Add 1 0 so that magkakaroon siya ng 3 decimal digit. If they have the same decimal places, then we can proceed with subtraction. Let's proceed with our subtraction. 3 minus 0 is equal to 3. 1 minus 0 is equal to 1. 5 minus 4 is equal to 1. And copy the decimal point. Then 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. And 7 minus 5 is equal to 2. So our difference is, or our answer is 21.113 thousandths. But this is not the final answer because we need to round off our answer in 2 decimal places. So therefore, we need to round off our 21.113 thousandths into 2 decimal places, which is yung ating hundreds place value. Since the digit to its right or yung digit na nasa right ni 1 na i-round off natin is 3, which is less than sa 5, then we are going to round up. Since we are going to round up, we will remain the digit 1 and the digit to its right becomes 0. Since magiging 0 na siya, no need to write the 0. And then copy the digit to its left, it becomes 21.11 hundredths. So therefore, our final answer here is 21.11 hundredths. So this is how we add or subtract our decimal number with applying our rounding off.